So the risks are evenly balanced. The economy remains resilient. Now in the bulletin, we are joined by our correspondent from Mumbai, Shama Mishra. Shama, how has the industry representatives from Mumbai seen the latest monetary policy review by the RBI?
Well, Tanvi, it was majorly on the expected lines. The experts were hoping that, the Reserve Bank of India either could pause at the moment or could increase a very, a minimal basis point, and that we have seen today. It was a 25 basis point rate hike, and but there were also expectations that the RBI would change its stance to neutral, and the RBI has maintained status quo over there. It has focused on withdrawal of accommodative stance. You've mentioned about how the markets and how the experts are taking this decision. Well, we have Anant Singhania with us. He is the president of IMC Chamber of Commerce. Let's ask him. Sir, how do you see the decision taken by the RBI policy today?
So the policy, MPC policy recommendation today of 25 basis points is very much on the lines that IMC had expected, and I think the market had also expected it. So this is very important because there have been inflationary issues, but last two of the reports, last 2 months has been sub 6%, which is on lines of the RBI's view. Although he's not given a neutral for the next quarter, but I think it will. I don't expect any further increases because there has been almost 250 basis points, 6 consecutive rate hike in the past year. So I think now it will be stabilized. Another thing is this is the first MPC after the recently held budget, which has put a large impetus on capital spending, which will boost demand, and also some rebates have been given. So perhaps the RBI governor is keeping that in mind, that perhaps with the rebates some inflationary things will happen. But quite frankly, I don't think that will happen. So it's just that's where it is.
All right. So we've also heard the governor time and again stressing upon this fact that India remains to be in a bright spot, and India's growth story is resilient, banking system is resilient. At this particular juncture, when the entire global economy, the Western economies are facing the worry and the trouble of recession, how do you think India is ready to handle this situation?
So I think the digitalization that Modi government ji has done over this last couple of years has set India apart. The fact that we have the fastest payment mechanism, we have all the areas on digital, whether it is the UPI based system, is the Aadhaar based system, it has put a very large domestic demand in place. So more and more people are coming into the organized world, and there the demand is going to just keep on growing. If you look at the budgetary allocation also towards skilling, towards development, where there will be skill development, there will be more job creation. Therefore, the demand of services, goods are going to continue to grow. India is going to grow at 3.5 trillion, is still going to be over 6% growth in the next financial year. So I'm quite bullish, at least India will manage. Of course, globally, recessionary trends are there. You have the Ukraine war, you have the energy crisis in Europe, you just had a couple of months of bad COVID, very high risk in China. So that's going to definitely dampen global demand. But I think India is very resilient, and therefore I'm quite positive on India's note.
All right. So Tanvi, you heard the expert saying that he's quite positive on India's growth story, and likewise the governor has also mentioned that India's growth story remains resilient because when we are talking about Western economies getting affected at this particular point in time, the entire eyes are there on Indian economy, and that's how more and more investment, more and more positiveness, and a whole picture could be coming towards India. And that's how India could be a global leader in showing ways to the world. Tanvi.
Yeah, thank you, Shama. Optimism continues to be with the Indian economy, and so is what was expected from RBI monetary policy review by the governor today. Thank you very much, Shama, for joining us in Midday Prime.